Hello and welcome to this webinar. The subject of today's webinar is the Technology and Construction Court in Birmingham. I am sure that a lot of you are wondering whether the pandemic has had an impact on court proceedings, and for that reason I have decided to put a few questions to Her Honour Judge Sarah Watson. Her Honour Judge Watson is the designated Technology and Construction Court judge in Birmingham, and she has kindly agreed to respond to a number of queries I had for her, and was also willing for her responses to be shared with you. We at Wright Hassall frequently use the TCC in Birmingham, as a lot of the clients we deal with are based in the region. I have had to use the TCC a few times since March 2020, and that included having to commence court proceedings to pursue a dispute or to enforce an adjudicator's decision. I personally have not experienced any delays whatsoever in the handling of my matters by the court. I have found the court to be very proactive, and as compared against the matters we have recently issued in the TCC in London, we normally get our papers back a lot quicker when we issue in Birmingham. For example, if you want to enforce an adjudicator's decision through the TCC and you issue the enforcement proceedings, you normally get the sealed papers and the court order within 1 to 2 working days of filing. Whereas my most recent experience of issuing in London was that we got an order within 7 days of filing the claim form. So there was a bit of a delay there. But enough about my experience. Let's now turn to the responses I got from the TCC judge in Birmingham. I have asked the judge whether court users are experiencing delays as a result of the impact of COVID-19. Judge Watson responded that there is no delay in obtaining hearing dates compared with the position before the pandemic. As far as work that does not require a hearing is concerned, her clerk, Sue Thomas, and judge are seeking to ensure that there are no delays either. Judge suggests that to avoid delay in processing any work, it is best to communicate with the TCC electronically. Communications by CE file or by email to clerk to hhjwatson@justice.gov.uk are dealt with promptly. If county court work is sent to Birmingham Civil Justice Centre on paper and not clearly marked as TCC work, there can be some delay. So again, to avoid that, it is best to send documents to court electronically by email to the judge's clerk where possible. I have also asked Judge whether hearings take place remotely or in person, and if remotely, what is the court's preferred method of conducting remote hearings? Judge said that currently hearings are taking place entirely remotely by telephone or by video using Skype for Business or Microsoft Teams. Some parties prefer video hearings and some prefer telephone hearings, particularly if advocates are working from home and do not have reliable internet connections. Judge Watson is happy to accommodate the parties' preferences. Hearing bundles are entirely electronic. Where large hearing bundles are required, they can be filed by sending a link to a file sharing platform so that judge can download the bundle. I have asked Judge whether trials are taking place remotely, and if so, what are the challenges of conducting remote trials? Her Honour said that currently trials are taking place by Skype for Business or Microsoft Teams. She said that she has heard several long and complicated trials in this way. She has not found they take any longer than trials in the court building. Her initial concern that it may be difficult to assess a witness's credibility remotely have been allayed by her experience. Judge says that it is possible to have a trial bundle, her note of the hearing and the video on the same screen, and she has found no difficulty in observing the witness's demeanour remotely. If anything, it is easier to observe the witness and make a note of the evidence at the same time on screen than it is in a courtroom. In terms of the challenges for remote trials, she says that these are firstly, the quality of the internet connection of the participants, the quality of the electronic trial bundle. She suggests that the bundles need to be tabulated and paginated. It is also preferable for it to be capable of being word searched. Another challenge is difficulty for the parties and given instructions to advocates during the trial. But this is addressed by judge directing that anyone may interrupt to make her aware that they wish to give instructions, and judge then adjourning briefly to allow time for instructions to be given. And finally, the fatigue from working on screen for long periods. Most people find it tiring to concentrate on a screen for long periods, and judge has found taking short mid-morning and mid-afternoon breaks helps to alleviate this problem. Finally, I have asked judge whether she will want to retain any practices that she and her team have developed during the pandemic when the restrictions are finally lifted. And she said that she'll, of course, listen to the views of the court users, but her own view is that it is likely that many hearings will continue to be remote, particularly where the parties or their representatives have to travel some distance to court. She suspects that many adjudication enforcements, applications, and CCMCs will continue to be heard remotely. And she's also willing to continuing to hear trials remotely where the parties prefer that. Thank you for watching this short webinar. I hope you found it useful. And if you have any queries relating to the TCC or any related matters, please do not hesitate to contact us.